Welcome back to the next episode of my Quilling alphabet series, where I show you different styles and techniques in crafting Quilling letters. In this video, I will show you how to make the letter E. In the last episode, I showed you how I made my printouts, and now I will talk about how I create my Quilling designs and templates. Usually, I use some aqua markers for my designs, finding them useful due to their variety of colors. However, for this project, I decided to use different shades of green. I also need a black marker for the outlines of the quilling. Let's start. Here's my printout of the letter E, and now I will draw some lines, swirls, and coils to develop a quilling design. I aim to have a swirl on the left bottom corner of the letter, as it adds elegance when placed in front of it. For creating a dimensional look, I also add some small swirls behind the letter. These swirls will be made with white paper strips, which is why I used a black marker to draw them. Now let's move on to the inside of the letter. I want to add some swirls inside the letter as well, but this time only in shades of green. However, I wasn't entirely pleased with the colors, so I decided to add yellow elements to make it more vibrant. After I'm satisfied with the swirls, I fill up the empty spaces with curved lines on the edges of the letter. In certain parts of the letter, adding straight lines works well with the swirls in a design. So I added them next to the swirls, and I used different shades of green for a contrasting effect. Upon completing the design inside the letter, I realized that I haven't used any coils. That's why I added some coils along the swirls outside the letter. This is the final design for my quilling letter E. It looks a bit chaotic. The straight lines aren't perfectly straight, and the swirls may seem a bit unnatural. When your template also looks like this, don't worry about that. This is just a sketch and the first step in the quilling process. The swirls will look much better when they are rolled with paper strips. And keep in mind that everything can change in the quilling process. By the way, this wasn't my first try to find a design for my quilling letter E. I also drew another one before, and this is how my first design of the letter looks like. As you can see, my first design had more elements. That's why it looks like it is very difficult to quill. Try to make your design with few elements for simplicity. I also changed the font and chose one which is more elegant. Here's another sketch of my letter A. This one looks totally different from the quilling letter I made. After the quilling process, I will show you how my quilling letter E turned out and compare it with the template. Let's start with the quilling. As always, I use thick cardboard for my letter quilling, and I recommend using different weights of paper strips. 300 GSM strips for the outlines of the letter, and 130 GSM strips for the swirls and coils inside the letter. Here are some tight coils without center holes and different shades of green. I also made some double-colored coils. Now I'll place them along the swirl outside the letter. It is not important that the coils are exactly in the same place as on the template. Just place them where they fit perfectly into the design. Now let's go on with the swirls inside the letter. I made some different sizes and tried to arrange them to get a beautiful design. Pay attention that they look naturally. When it comes to the straight and curved lines inside the letter, I used 300 GSM paper strips as they are sturdy enough. Cut the strips into the right length by measuring them on the empty space in the quilling letter and add them to the design. Using different shades of green will enhance the overall look. I also used darker shades of green on the top half of the letter and lighter shades on the bottom part for a more appealing contrast. Now it's time for the big reveal. Let's compare my template with my quilling results. As you can see, I changed the sizes of some quilling elements to better match the design. The swirl in front of the letter turned out perfectly in its natural shape, and the curve along the swirl looks much better in the quilling. The swirls inside the letter also turned out well. And I totally changed the tight coils along the swirl. What I want to say is, don't worry much about your quilling templates, let the quilling magic happen. Let's frame this quilling letter on a green background and the quilling artwork is complete. I hope you learned something new in this video. If you have any questions about making quilling letters, you can ask them in the comments, and I will try to answer them in the upcoming videos. You can subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any of those videos. And for now, you can watch all the videos of my Quilling Alphabet series on this playlist right here. Thank you all for watching, and happy quilling!